Hey y'all, it's Indigo here, coming at you with round 3, and this is season 2, week 1 of the Grand Arena Championships. Taking a look at the board here, this was my opponent for the final round. He put up a decent defense, and I tried to craft my defense especially for him so I could draw out the right teams. Let me show you what he's got up top. So he did go ahead and put his Darth Revan team up there, and then he's got a Karth team with Wampa. So I'm going to start by taking out his Darth Revan team because I want to make sure my Grievous counter works. Sometimes it can go haywire if everybody doesn't get their target lock, but here it looks like it landed on everybody. Everything's good. It's just business as usual. You got to watch out because sometimes Bastila won't die, or sometimes Malik won't die. You know, things can go sideways. But that didn't happen here. I got 49 banners. So done with that team, and that was the one I was mostly worried about. I'll clear off his Karth team just to see what's in the back so I have more information to go on. Y'all know for the Karth, I like to use first order. So that's what I'm going to do here. He put Wampa with his Karth team. I'm not a big fan of that. One, because I use Wampa on offense a lot to take out Nest if she's there. And because Wampa does a good amount of damage. In here you can see I used Crew's 2-turn stun on Wampa. And so it just makes Wampa useless. Wampa stays stunned most of the time. So it's kind of a waste. I had a much harder time against L3 as a 5th character, you know, than I do with Wampa in there. Maybe if you're going to use EP or something else, Wampa will put some work in, but against first order, it really doesn't do a whole lot. Wampa just stays stunned, and you got to keep working on everyone else. And I was able to get out mission, and now I'm going to work on Karth because he's the next squishiest. There he went. Now I got Zalbar stunned and got to start working on Canderous. Usually get down to just Zalbar toward the end. So he's taunting now, but you'll be able to get that to go away in a minute. I keep throwing turn meter over to Executioner. That way his hits will keep building up and he'll keep taking out, you know, a good chunk of damage. But right now both of his team is stunned, and Wampa still hasn't done anything. So, got rid of the taunt. Now I'm free to work on Canderous. Took him out. Keep doing the AoE from Xylo to throw turn meter to the team. It's important. And again, with Officer, throwing turn meter over to Executioner, just so I can continue to ramp up the damage. This last part is a bit of a grind. You just gotta do it. Keep using Executioner to keep taking out more and more damage. And keep doing the AoEs with Xylo. Again, you can see Wampa still hasn't done anything. Working on Zalbar. Right there, I got Wampa to yellow and re-stunned him, so I took him out. Figured might as well. Checking to make sure everybody's got full health, full protection. Sometimes it's tough to tell. But I got Zalbar down into the yellow. And my team's, you know, not in danger of losing the match, obviously. It's just about trying to get that extra banner, make sure they go perfect. So got him red barred now. Just keep at it. Throw some turn meter over to Executioner. Another big hit, and Zalbar's on his last legs. So there we go. Done with that match, and I did pick up my 60 banners. So that's the first zone cleared. And I'll be able to show you guys what's behind there. So he put a Newt droid team. I figured he would because he has the droid counter Grievous for a Darth Revan team. I figured he'd save that. And then he just had some scoundrels up there. A weird scoundrel team. Down south, he put a Bastila Jedi team down there. And then he's got some Rex-led clones. And he's got good clones. And he's got L3 in there also. So I was a little bit worried about these clones, but we'll go ahead and take out the Bastila Jedi team for that, I'm going to use my Kira, my Nest, and my Hermit Yoda. My Nest is Gear 13, Relic 1, with like 150% tenacity, so I figured she'd still do a good job taking out this team. The problem is, he's got Hermit Yoda on his team, and once that Master's training gets spread around, it seems like that gives them just enough that they can kind of break through a high tenacity Nest and still land the stuns. They struggle sometimes, but they can still stun Nest, and you can see that happening even with Master's training on my own high tenacity Nest. They're still stunning her, and so you got to watch out for that. That's why I really wanted to take in Hermit Yoda, because I didn't want to chance it. I've had it before when my Nest was Gear 12 was the last time I used this team against this matchup, and they'll stun Nest and she'll come out of stun and Ezra will double tap her and that's the end of it. I didn't want that to happen here, so I want to make sure I had that Master's training on, get that extra little bit of sturdiness. Other than that, it's pretty straightforward. I'm trying to take out Bastila first just because she's got the extra buffs and everything that she can throw around to the team, and the fact that she can debuff and put up buff immunity and stun, and I didn't want that stun to break through, so I took her out. Unfortunately, or fortunately for him, Ayla also stuns, and she seemed to be landing a ton of her stuns, so that was a bit annoying. I really like her as a character, but mine's only 3 stars and super low gear. Just a back burner farm that I never got around to. I would very much love to have her underneath Jedi Revan or underneath my own Bastila. I think she'd be a valuable addition, but there's just no way to farm her when we're stretched so thin nowadays. So dealing with her, she's a really good character. Let me get back to it. I throw it on auto just because with the stuns, I don't want to chance timing out in this matchup. I want to make sure that I go as fast as possible, which the AI will do that for me. And right there, Ezra went down, so now it's just Ayla and Hermit Yoda to worry about. Took her out, and that's that for 58 banners. And I didn't have to burn a really good team to get through it. So I only got that one clone team left in the front, and then I can see what's back there, and that'll give me a lot more information to go on, because I still have my Jedi Revan, I got my CLS, I got my Treya, I got my Padme. I've got all my top teams that I didn't have to end up using because I was able to use counter teams and B teams to get through the other zone and use Nest to cheese this Bastila team. So going through my mind is which top counter team do I want to use against his clones for the best shot at victory? And that's going to be the most versatile if I get to the back and there's a Padme waiting for me, or there's, something else. And so I was going back and forth for a long time trying to decide what to use, and I finally settled on using my Jedi Revan, because he's not going to have Grievous back there. He's already spread out his Separatists into another team, and he's going to use Grievous, against my own Darth Revan. So I figured I'll go ahead and use my Jedi Revan. I did want to be safe, so I put my Bastila in there, Jolee, Yoda, and then Obi-Wan. I figured this should be fine. The only thing that would really be kind of a hitch in my plan is if he puts his own Jedi Knight Revan in that back zone, and with him putting Darth Revan up front, that's highly unlikely. A lot of people don't put both Revans on defense, so you just kind of roll the dice. But I figured if it does happen, I've at least got several counter options to be able to deal with it. I'm not going to be just stuck. And I figured my own Jedi Revan would give me the best chance at success. I wasn't sure that for example, CLS could pull it off. I was just nervous about that, and I didn't want to burn a really good team like CLS or Traya just because I wanted to be able to handle whatever might be in back. So you can see I'm just working down his clones. I got my Kenobi throw the taunt up. My Yoda hits, decently hard. I'm just trying to take out fives, and then I can start working on the rest of the team. Just getting to fives, getting around L3's taunt to be able to get to fives when he's not taunting is a little bit of a pain. Spread some buffs around. Basic with Jolie. I keep getting him down. I had him red barred, but having your focus drawn off to another character gets a little bit frustrating. So keep working on fives, trying to get him out of there so he doesn't end up making some super clones. But since I don't have a choice, I'm also trying to work on L3. If I can get rid of her, then I can get to fives and I'll be fine. So got them both red barred. Didn't want to really use my direct focus here, so I'll use that call and assist. And there I was able to get rid of fives. Now L3 red barred, take her out. Now I can throw my direct focus and take out Rex, get him out of the picture. And so now I'm in pretty good shape. I'm trying to see if there's any way that I can recover enough protection, squeeze out a couple extra banners, because I don't know what my opponent's going to do, how he's going to, counter all the teams that I set out for him. So I'm trying to get every last kind of banner I can, if I can. And here we go. We'll wrap this one up. Got Yoda here and take him out. And so that's done. Only 56 for that. So not terribly efficient at all. And lo and behold, the one team that I kind of didn't want back there, and he put back there his Jedi Knight Revan. So, okay, I would have rather done without that, but it's okay. I saved a counter for it. It's just something you got to deal with. So it was a little tricky move. He's got Night Sisters down there, and then he's got Jedi Revan. So I know what I'm going to use against his Night Sisters, and he'll be happy to see this. So I've been working on my imps, got the turn orders down and everything. You can see that they just mow right through these Night Sisters. If you get the turn orders right, you want start to go, buff up the team, gives them all some turn meter, and then ideally death to go next. That way his grenade will dispel the taunt, and then you can work on whoever you want, and then have them go from there. So that's the way I have it here. That way, right after my second move will dispel Zombie's taunt, and then everyone else can target, Spirit or whoever's the weakest. So that's it. You can see I got Daka there, got Asajj stuck behind Zombie's taunt at the moment, but just got to kind of get a quick kill just to be able to boost the turn meter up. Now I got Snow's AoE, which hits really, really hard. I think he's Relic 4. So now I'm down to just Zombie. No worries there. 60 banners from my imps. So I highly recommend putting some work into them. So here's the counter I chose for the Jedi Knight Revan team. I know y'all have seen this if you go back to when JKR was the meta team in Arena. I got my Traya, Scion, Nihilus, and I saved my Dark Side Bastila, didn't put her in my Darth Revan team, and then Thrawn. So she's going to give extra defense and tenacity to Traya, which is going to help her survive because Jedi Revan likes to direct focus on Traya and always opens with that. So once he does that, you just got to keep working on each of them until you can, get Jolie out of the picture somehow. So what I chose to do was fracture Yoda. That way that'll keep him on the sideline, and I don't have to worry about him doing any heavy damage. I think he had a Gear 13 Grandmaster Yoda, and he hits really hard with relics, so you got to watch out for that. I can't be having all that damage just one-shotting a character. So you got to play this pretty carefully. You want the other team to be debuffed. That way, every time they attack and damage, they lose some health. And then every time you hit them, if they already have a debuff, you're going to heal also. So that's the way you kind of keep the team alive, your Sith anyway. I'm trying to not really kill anyone, just trying to move. First, I hit that button to move some of the buffs and debuffs out of the way. When you're fighting a Jedi Revan team, it can be pretty long, but for the most part, I do like to see what buffs and debuffs are on everybody. They just get in the way of the turn meter bar. So, besides that, he's got Shock T on this Jedi Revan team. It doesn't flow exactly the same as the old way we used to counter, because there used to be GK, and he's got Juhani, and then Bastila, and she would constantly throw buffs around, and GK would constantly taunt and steal the focus off whoever you were trying to kill. So in this scenario, I really want to get Jolee out of the picture. I've got him isolated right now, and that way he can't revive anyone, but what I want to do is annihilate Revan, and I'm trying to get that done before he starts, dogpiling Traya again, or before they can hit her hard enough to knock her out. Unfortunately, there was Yoda. You see how he hits pretty hard, and he was able to knock her out, so I lose that isolate on Jolee. Ideally, I like to keep that on there, because then once Revan's gone, you can kill everybody else and not have to worry about him bringing anybody back. But it didn't work out that way. I was able to fracture Yoda, keep him sidelined, annihilate Revan. Now I don't have to worry about him doing most of the damage. I can start focusing on Jolee now. And my Sith hit pretty hard. He has a Gear 13 Jolee, but I don't have to worry about him a whole lot, because I can throw down enough debuffs, and with my dark side Bastila there, she can throw down the fear. You got to watch out for tenacity, but with Thrawn still alive, he's pretty key for the fracture, just being able to put somebody basically in timeout. So it's nice to have that. You got a whole bunch of different tools to make this team work. You just got to be careful how you play it, is all. And so as long as everybody's debuffed and they're constantly, losing health, there they go. They start falling down at the end. You just got to get out Revan, get out Yoda. Once you do that, it's pretty easy. So was able to use that counter. I had to go watch one of my older videos. I hadn't run that counter in a while. But cleared that zone. Didn't drop any battles or give them any holds. So now I just got these two B teams to wrap up, and I already told you I got plenty of counter teams left. I got Padme, got my CLS. I think I've got my EP team and some resistance and all that too, but there's no reason to use any of them, because I already got two top counter teams to go against these. So if you got them, you might as well use them. So that's why I went in here with CLS, Han, Chewie, and then I took R2 and Wampa. Figured Wampa would be good. I like the AoE days. I like the fact that Wampa hits really hard. R2's nice for, smoke screen and being able to get the stuns. Figured that'd be pretty good. But mainly it's CLS, Han, and Chewie doing the bulk of the damage. I'm not a fan of undermanning, although I probably could have undermanned this team. I tend to forget a lot of times. I just don't take the risk if I don't need to for any reason, and I just tend to forget about it. Right there, I lost R2. Probably could have left him out and gotten a couple extra banners that way, but I just didn't think of it at the time. So you can see everybody's left now, and they're just going after B1 and Newt. And that's not hard at all. We only got 54 banners for that team, So, for example, leaving R2 out, if all things would have been the same, would have been like 57 banners or 58 banners. But that's, it is what it is. So, lastly, I have my Padme team going against his scoundrels, and this time I did remember to underman. So, I just took in Padme, GK, Anakin, and Ahsoka. And my Anakin is Relic 7, so he hits nice and hard. Figured that would be nice to have, a nice AoE to be able to take people out. Or if I had to use his basic, be able to take somebody out in one shot. So I did that for Chirrut right there. Took him out. Took out young Lando. Now I got Clone Wars Chewie. Not sure what the deal with why he chose to use him. Maybe he just wanted to save more power for offense. I don't know. But took that team out and was able to get my full 61 banners. So pretty happy with that. And I accomplished something else, whatever this thing is. Quest complete. So that's it. I cleared his board. And that's what it looked like after I got done. My 1895. And he hadn't attacked yet. And so I woke up this morning. He still hadn't attacked. And was out running errands, and then I checked back in, and he had attacked, and he'd already messaged me before, and we were discussing, like, what, all about Grand Arena, and he said he watches some of my videos, which is nice. Always like to get a fan if they like my videos, find them interesting. And so we were able to also discuss, after the match was over, what he used against each of my teams. So I found that interesting. It's always good to know how your defenses hold up. So this is what I did. Let me show you what the board looked like when I checked it later and how he did. So there it is. He was able to full clear me also. He did drop one battle on my clones. I put my clones in the back and he went 2 battles on that. And so my 1895 versus his 1855, even if he wouldn't have dropped that battle, he would have still been 20 points less efficient than me. So it was a good match, and he even said so. He had fun doing it, and I definitely had fun coming up with defenses specific to his roster, because I knew he would use the Grievous nuke team, and I knew he would use, clones and different things. You got to really do your homework. So it was a fun match, and that's the end of round 3. We'll see you guys in the next week. Shout out to my buddy Mikayas. He runs a modding service. He'll go through, make sure you got the right squad compositions and the right mods on the right characters. Give your account a real nice tune-up. I'll put the link to his Discord in my description. Go ahead and check him out. Tell him Indigo sent you. Thanks for watching my video, guys. If you enjoyed the video, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, share your comments down below, and hopefully you'll check out my other videos on my channel. Peace.